What is good, my friends and followers? I'm your host, Theory, one of the podcasts In Theory, where we dive into the mechanics of the artist's process. We explore the innermost thoughts and analytical mind when they create. We desire the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding of the artist on this show. Today, we have a special guest. Drum roll, please. That's right, Theory 1. Yes, that's right, myself. I'm going to interview myself, going deep into the mechanics of my process. How will this work, you ask? I will take method of myself as the interviewer and myself as the creator. This is explaining the experience of my mental illness, which is schizoaffective bipolar disorder. What is this mental illness, you ask? It's schizophrenia tendencies, so hearing and seeing audio and visual hallucinations. I hear many things, rarely my own voice though. I've come to acknowledge the power of my brain and the human brain's entirety. I remember and record voices I hear and visuals I see of everything I encounter. So when I'm by myself and I get bored and lonely, I tend to entertain the wild side of my reality. I literally hear the exact voice of, say, rapper and hip-hop artists when there's no music on as if it's playing from a speaker in my head. It's a lot of energy to deal with, and at times can be very unsustainable energy causing manicness or sometimes feeling my time accelerated so much I can think at lightning speed. It tends to make it hard to hold conversations or even have normal conversations with individuals of society. I don't know what small talk is, LOL. I love getting lost in theories, hence the name, LOL. Because of my super active imagination, I can create new lyrics and songs to hip-hop artists I've recorded as if I'm a ghostwriter. I hear their cadence, their tone, their vocabulary. It's as if I'm tapping into their consciousness to co-create and collaborate on projects. Although I'm aware it is just my brain, it feels so real at times, I get lost in the defining lines of the reality we live in. We can imagine anything. It's just a matter of transcending and materializing your thoughts into concrete conscious reality. Without further ado, let us begin the interview with our guest Theory 1 and dive deep into the fabrics and inner workings of a creator. So thank you, myself, for joining us. How are you today? Love it. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here and express what runs my life's work. Well, we're excited to hear it. So let's get started. Word. All right. So tell me, what does it mean to make it to you? When I say making it, I mean as a creator in society as your passion and job in this industry. Can you tell me what making it in the industry requires? And what does making it in life require? Wow, that's an amazing first question, man. Well, to me, making it as a creator in the industry doesn't require money at all. In fact, to be a made creator in today's industry, your work does the talking, networking, influencing, and even shaping new aspects of our reality today. By finding your voice, you will accomplish all you desire. Just designing may make you money, but we're after the molding and influencing of the human mind, body, and soul. We as creators, especially graffiti artists, are a unified voice against quote-unquote the man, the evils of this world. We tend so easily to get lost in the battle for fame, rep, and notoriety that we attack each other. But true graffiti artists that have quote-unquote made it work together, collaborate, and even build with each other rather than destroy everything around them. Yes, we do destroy things, quote-unquote, with our paint. But the message that has always stuck to me is that by destroying the old, outdated ways of society and the structure of this fabricated reality, we instill, influence, and inspire not just generations to come, but the generations that have molded and enlightened us to even be able to express truth and fight what's right. We are the creators of our reality. Stand up for yourself and don't let people mold you into something you're not. You'll regret your life the rest of your existence. It can be scary and we fear sometimes. But your belief not only in a higher power, but the belief in yourself will mold the structures of society around you. Belief to me is the most strong emotion and action one can have. It fuels all your other actions, intentions, and purposes of your existence. With that all being said, making the industry is about your influence on the rest of the industry, you see. You will not see money all the time for your hard work, but you will be rewarded by the universe for influencing and inspiring the human race and further. Man, I love how you said that, Theory. It really makes you think what society defines making it as, and what it is believed to be by individuals. Do you find your belief as a success? Actually, yes, I do. And that's making it in life as we know it. Making in life to me isn't just being independent or being able to live on your own, but rather the ability to control your emotions throughout each day, and success lies within self only. You decide, you choose whether to do anything really. You decide, you choose whether you stay happy, blessed, thankful and appreciate the world around you, even for all its cruelty. And you decide whether things bother you. Making it, to me, is being able to deflect negativity, or rather convert it into intentful, purposeful actions like the Nikola Tesla coil. If you remain untouchable, you can truly accomplish anything. It's the hate and negativity from others and from ourselves that affects the outcomes of our reality. So, to me, making it is about control of self, constant memory of the lessons we've learned and blessings we have received, and will continue to receive for our existence. By staying close to your foundation and core of what I call the fundamentals of the game of life, just believe in yourself, really. You'll be surprised at all you can accomplish, man. Alright, man. To me, it sounds as if making it in your life to you will result in making it in your industry as well. Do you think your life influences the industry, or the industry influences your life? This is the last question about defining success and making it. Then we will proceed to dissect 3-1's process. I promise. Yeah, totally, man. If the industry affects your life, then you're a pawn, if you will, and just a consumer. Like I said before, it's about the influence. Consumers are influenced by the industry around them, and industries are then influenced by their consumption of their quote-unquote food or nutritional intake from the creations they consume. By staying true to yourself, it'll lead to inspiring other individuals to join you on your journey for truth and righteousness. By going against the grain and not being afraid to explore the unwalked paths of creation influences, you will define and enlighten more pathways to the same end goal that suits the journeymen and their interests. We are after guiding people to a place of enlightenment, peace, prosperity, and protection from a cruel world. Quote unquote, it's a cold world, no blanket, if you will. We just want to feel loved and appreciated, as well providing those two things for themselves. That's my end goal and intentions, at least. I love it, I love it, I love it. Thank you for your insight, Theory. It's truly appreciated, and I'm sure the people listening and tuning in appreciate your insights and opinions as much as I do. Okay, let's move into the process of your creating, Theory 1. Now, know you are a versatile creator that evolves but not limited to screen printing, apparel, and design, but I'd love to talk about your roots as a creator. Let's talk about your graffiti process, and specifically on pieces and places you can truly take your time on, rather than illegal highway or city tags, which is super dopamine, don't get me wrong, but we're after the art itself and the one creating it. Word? Well, where would you like to start? Sketching on paper, painting graffiti on canvas, or at the wall freestyling? There's many application situation we need to dive into, so let me know, man. Ooh, well, I'm thinking at the wall freestyling. Freestyling seems so intense and specialized skill that's sought out by what I believe is every creator, especially graffiti artists. Word. So tell me, what's your first step to creating a freestyle piece? Well, first, if I'm honest, you gotta make sure your mind, body, and spirit are in tune and on point. Freestyle, it's about you, man. It's about freedom of expression, freedom of your voice, your views, and your message especially. It takes a sound mind to create a soul's piece. And it only comes out from the proper alchemic algorithms or equations of combining your emotions to access the freestyle plane of consciousness. Your vibe is nonverbal. And by you trying to explain what you're feeling, will manifest in the wall before you. I'm going to tell you, it takes zero fear, love of self, intentions, and belief. I believe those would be the 4 primary corners of a concrete foundation for freestyling, right? You can't have fear of what it may look like or what people will think of your piece. You must love yourself and love your abilities. If your emotion is off while manifesting, the final product's going to show that in the details. So by loving yourself and generating positivity while freestyling, will show the candid feeling and vibe in the final product you create. Dang, he said if you're not right with yourself, then your work won't be right. Love it, man. So tell me, what's step 2 in the process? When does the actual painting start? Soon, my dude, soon. There's quite a few steps to the process of freestyling the piece. The second step is to find a good spot for your piece. When you're looking for where to set up shop, you want to err with the side of caution who you go over. Writing over other graffiti artists can be a hairy situation. What do you mean by that? I mean, there's rules to the game, and they are as follows. A tag goes over a tag, but a tag doesn't go over anything else, unless you're disrespecting the artist and their work. A throw-up, as we call it, or usually bubble letters you can piece together quickly, go over tags as well as other people's throw-ups, but throw-ups don't go over pieces or murals. Lastly, pieces, aka murals, go over everything, including other pieces and murals. Like I said, err on the side of caution if you decide to break these rules. You'll most likely get too much hate to handle from the community for it. Dang. I didn't know there were rules like that. and people seem to take them seriously as well. You're exactly right. It's a code, if you will, of the art style and its communities. Use these rules to decide what individual you're going to go over the top of. Don't tag over pieces, and respect the elders in the game who you learn from. No going over the big crews that get commissioned to do murals and put up a free installment paid by themselves to give back to the community. Find somewhere where bubble letters are tagged over or a bunch of scratch tags to go over. These are the safest spots because I consider them ruined by each other, making it a viable spot to post up and paint. Word! That makes so much sense after you saying that. Gotta respect the elders, kids. You heard it first from Theory 1. You're funny, man. So on to step 3 now. Sweet. So what is step 3, my guy? Step 3 is meditation, focus, and brainstorming time while buffing the spot, which I highly suggest, although it's a little bit more weight to carry on your journey. What is buffing? Buffing is using a roller and a bucket of paint, placing a solid coat of paint to have a fresh canvas to work with. It allows for your fills to be more of a solid body fill without the colors of the art creations underneath your piece showing through, resulting in a higher quality finished product. That is so cool. So it's like priming a canvas when you're using acrylic for a more solid coat of paint. Do you draw on a piece of paper or in a sketchbook when you're brainstorming? Well, would it be a freestyle if you use a reference now, would it? Smart ass, I guess not. So how do you create when you're brainstorming? Good question. You visualize in your head like meditation first and foremost. You can lengthen your time of visualizing concrete creation within your head by practicing in your off time. For instance, before you start a canvas or even sketch on a paper or in a book, another good time to practice is before bed each night, especially because your eyes are closed, which helps encourage stronger visualizations. Practice projecting your thoughts and ideas before you as if it's on a TV screen or monitor. I've used Photoshop for 19 years to date, man. So imagine the program with all the tools if it were opened up in my mind. By doing so, it's anchored a strong capability for my imagination to run wild and create on the Photoshop canvas. Using reference points within your reality will strengthen the duration and visibility of your internal visualization. That is amazing. Wow, seriously, too cool. So after all this visualization, what comes next? Thank you, man, thank you. Your next job is to project your internal visualization finished onto the buffed wall in front of you, or as if it were a blank piece of paper. By doing so, if you can keep it projected on the wall, all you have to do is basically trace your creation. It'll help with scaling your creation to the size of the canvas or wall as well. This, to me, is the secret of freestyling effectively and efficiently. If you can do this process, your final product should come out pristine. It's almost as if it's not a freestyle anymore, isn't it? If you're tracing it, then you're using a reference you have in your head. By holding the creation in your head, it's almost as if you're using a phone, tablet, or even a piece of paper as a reference. Basically. It's also more authentic in my humble opinion. It's all about authenticity and individuality. It comes from the soul. Word. Love it, man. Love it. This has been a most insightful and enlightening discussion on the topic of graffiti and even creating in general. Thank you, man. Thank you. So I'm going to ask you some more questions diving deeper into the nitty-gritty of the action of your painting. Word up, man. Let's do it. Word. So how do you select your color palettes for a freestyle? And what paint brand do you prefer? Love it. Honestly, I rarely know what colors I'm going to use. Before leaving the house, I enjoy grabbing random colors that look good together and go from there. I feel it adds to the freestyle vibe, you know? The fills I choose to manifest in my pieces is spontaneous and usually comes after the outline of the piece itself. I don't like to get ahead of myself when I'm creating. One part of the process at a time, man, you know? As far as the paint I prefer, I always use the Montana Cans Gold Lime cans. They dry fast and have solid opacity and opaqueness to get the job done. Awesome. Good to know. Montana Cans, people, Montana Cans. So tell us about the layering process. I heard you mention fills. Can you explain what those are and reveal the different parts that go into a piece? Sure can. So first there's the buffing we talked about. The second part is initial outlines. So these can be sloppy and will later be defined more thoroughly once for scaling the letters is correct. You want to use a color for your outlines that is separate from the next part, the fills. The fills are the part of the painting that gives it color. It's the color within the letters and other aspects of the piece before the final outlines. This is where you can go wild with your imagination, man. Part of being graffiti artist is your individuality and style, you know? So don't be afraid to go wild on your fills. The possibilities are literally limitless. Anything can be a fill, as long as it's within the letters. You could do a basic color blocking and gradient fades, or you can even paint a landscape like a sunset for the fills. The choice is yours. Whew. Love the enlightenment, my man. So are there any more parts of the freestyling a piece? Well, a few more actually. After your fills are complete, you have two options. So you can do the final outlines first, or I highly suggest you can do the 3D first. That is if you want a 3D effect on your piece. We'll go with the 3D first if you choose to add 3D for a few reasons. The main reason you should choose to do a 3D before the outlines is that your final outlines will encase the subtle flaws between the fills and the 3D. The solid outline will cover the flaws and leave you with a crisp result. You should really do the final outlines last always except for certain scenarios, especially if you want to add slime, goo, bubbles, or more artistic parts of the piece that require shading and such. Although all colors of paint go over all colors perfectly, the final outlines being last of the process allows you to decide if some aspects of the piece should have no outline, especially if those parts have heavily shading done to them. And there you have it, folks. Those are the different pieces of the process, the piece and a graffiti piece, aka a mural together. Well, thank you again so much, Theory One, for joining us on the show today and sharing your process with us. We deeply appreciate your insights and views. So much to be learned. Thank you, brother. I've had fun expressing and sharing my process with all of you. Hope you learned something and have added a tip to your creator's tool belt. Peace. Well, this results in the end of this broadcast. Thank you for tuning in, and check back in for more episodes soon. Peace.